I'm your friend, Dr. Charles Apoki. I want to talk about the fuel subsidy and so-called palliatives. One problem with Nigerian leadership is policy somersault. They don't think before they just open their mouths and talk rubbish. Fuel subsidy was supposed to stay till the end of June. It was supposed to start in July. Somebody just mounted a podium and said he has done away with fuel subsidy. And then this crisis of fuel price increase came up. Did you plan for the removal of the subsidy? What necessitated subsidy in the first place? The first problem is that our refineries are not functional. Why don't you set out to make these refineries functional instead of subsidizing fuel imports? We invested $2 billion in Dangote refinery. $2 billion was enough to kickstart and reactivate some of these refineries, particularly the Warri refinery and the Port Harcourt refinery. We would have had refined products from these two refineries. Why go to buy shares in Dangote refineries while your own refineries are not functional? The next thing is that you are bringing palliatives at what cost and what consequences? The monies you are going to use to give palliatives, are they not enough to reinvigorate these refineries? What happened to COVID palliatives? Didn't you people hurt them? Won't you steal these monies? You are talking about giving palliatives to people. Assuming you increase the minimum wage to 200,000 naira, how much will fuel cost take from that 200 naira for transportation, for the man's generator? When you increase the salaries by 200 to 200,000 naira minimum wage, the prices of commodities, cost of school fees, feeding, house rent, various things will skyrocket. And you will eventually find out that inflation will go up so high. And the cost on the worker is that he is earning more, but he is getting less, because the demand on him from various areas will take away the money. What are you going to do as palliatives? Are you going to put mass transit buses in the streets? The ones you put in the streets, what happened to them? The ones federal government sponsored mass transit systems. What happened to them? The simple problem is that refineries are not functional. Dummies. Make the refineries functional. And then we won't have anything about any need for palliatives. We won't have any need for subsidy. Don't you people reason basic economics? Basic economics. Has Dangote refinery started functioning before you remove subsidies? What happened to the school feeding program? How many school children were fed? People just got rich and fast. You want to steal our money through another system again, palliatives. Do we need palliative treatment? We need curative treatment. We need curative treatment. Palliative treatments don't cure illnesses, don't cure disease, don't solve problems. It's like giving analgesics to somebody to relieve pain from cancer. If you can excise that cancer, do chemotherapy, do radiotherapy, and if the cancer gets healed, the pain will go. Palliatives, you want to steal again. What palliatives? If the railway lines are functional, very few people will drive cars. If we have trams, very few people will drive cars. If the airlines are functional and then the cost of aviation fuel goes down because our refineries are functional, very few people will drive long distances. Don't you reason? If electricity is regular, we will not go and buy 4 liters for our pass our neighbor generators. If the price of fuel is 511 naira as it is in the petrol station behind me, the fuel station behind me, if the worker spends 4 liters of petrol every day for his I pass my neighbor generator, 4 liters is 2,000 naira every day, 60,000 plus from his salary that you want to increase to 200,000 naira or whatever. Why don't you make electricity regular? If you make electricity regular, people will not use petrol-consuming generators. We can produce energy from several sources in this country. We are flaring gas, and we don't have electricity. We can put thermal stations, small units of thermal stations around this country, and we won't have need for fuel subsidy. Use your brains for once. Dummy Nigerian leaders, use your brains for once. Use your brains for once. We are angry with this country, and something must happen.